Well, everybody, I pulled him out from under his covers where he's been sad for the last 24 hours after that really possibly the worst game of the season for football in general against the Eagles. But he's here. He's ready to give you his picks for Week 11 in the NFL. So let's get right into it. Hey everybody, welcome back to Mike and the Feather, currently the Las Vegas Football Podcast. We are here to give you our picks and predictions for Week 11 in the NFL. For Week 10, just to recap, second week in a row, we actually split the picks, went 7-7. But the key thing is you were 3-1 on your Take It to the Bank picks. Those are the picks we feel the strongest about. If you're going to bet any, probably consider those more than anything else. And over the last, how long has it been?
3 weeks.
So that's 3 weeks, 9-2?
7-2.
7-2, even that's great. 7-2 on Take It to the Bank. So we do try and give you our opinion on all the games, but those are the key ones to listen for. And that's enough, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Let's get right into it. Thursday Night Football. The New York Jets sell off half their team, decide to suddenly win with a lot of help from special teams, obviously.
Against the Browns, of course.
Against the Browns, but still, it's like you have a fire sale and suddenly now you win 2 games in a row.
Right.
They are on the road at... The Empire is reborn. The New England Patriots.
We had a couple years not having to think about the Patriots, and all of a sudden now they're looking good. I mean, they're right up top.
And top, they have, I'm double checking, you have the biggest spread of the week right now as of recording, minus 12.5.
And they deserve it. They're playing really good. Now, they have 3 running backs that are all banged up. So, yeah, Travion Henderson had his rookie coming out party. With Ramondre Stevenson being out, he had a big game, but he also took a little bit of tweaked his knee a little bit, but he should be fine this week. It's hard to say. Him and Ramondre Stevenson are both questionable, so kind of watched at it throughout the week, coming into the short week on Thursday. Drake May is the man. Stephon Diggs, this team all around is looking great, but most importantly is this defense of the Patriots has been really, really good. You know, last Thursday's week was our one loss on the Take It to the Bank with Denver. The game was a stinker against the Raiders. It was terrible. This game is lending itself, obviously, for New England at home to put up a whole bunch of points. 12.5 is a lot in a division battle, but this Jets team now going to be missing Garrett Wilson as if they needed any more people to not be able to play this week. Breece Hall, he's looking pretty solid. I don't know why the Jets didn't trade him before the deadline, but they chose not to. But regardless, this Jets team, the coach is going to be on the hot seat. I don't think the Jets win too many more games the rest of the year. They're definitely not going to win this one. It comes down to will the Patriots cover a big spread of 12.5? And the answer is on Thursday Night Football, short week. Jets got to turn around and travel to New England. The Patriots, no problem. They're going to get it done. Double digits, 14-plus point victory. Take the New England Patriots to cover the spread. Easy peasy. Boom.
And I'm going to be thankful after this week, not just for Thanksgiving, but the fact this is our last 6:30 game of the year.
Amen.
And I'm kind of conflicted about if this is worth getting up to watch, because after what happened this past weekend, it is the Commanders on the road, technically, facing the Miami Dolphins with a giant question mark, because what's going on with the Dolphins? What's going on with the Bills? We'll get to that too. But right now, possibly because of what happened this weekend, the Dolphins are a 2.5-point favorite on the road. And forgive me, I didn't double check where it is this week. Where's our last overseas?
I think it's in like Madrid, Spain or something.
I'll pop it up on the screen either way.
Something like that. But unfortunately, they get the short end of the stick on these overseas games because this is 2 teams that are basically playing for a draft position because they're not going to win a lot of games. Unfortunately, Jane Daniels is possibly going to be back sooner than expected with his injury, but that's not going to be this week, so they're going to be going with Marcus Mariota. Now, on the other side of the ball, you have a team that what Miami Dolphin team is this? Their defense looked good. They stomped all over the Bills. Achane ran like a beast. Waddle was the true number 1 that he is in this league. Is Miami going to continue? Are they going to actually build on something? They don't have what it takes to make a playoff run. That's not going to happen. But they're going to have enough to get this game done because bottom line, too many defensive deficiencies in Washington. and too many question marks on offense in general. The coach is trying his hardest. They had a huge, year last year, almost made it to the Super Bowl, but that's not this year. Take without no doubt at all the Miami Dolphins -2.5 to get it done, barring they just decide to not show up, which they've done plenty this year. But this game should not be the case. I think they're going to show out for this overseas crowd. Take the Dolphins -2.5. Boom.
10 a.m. Sunday for the next 2.5 hours. We are no longer friends. We are going to open up Sunday morning with our internal matchup of the week. It is the Green Bay Packers on the road at the New York Giants. New York Giants, let's run down the list really quick. Just fired Dable. No, I never say it right. Kind of a surprise, too.
You won't have to say it again ever again because he's fired now.
That is true.
This is the last time you have to say Brian Dable's name again.
Good read. We got Jackson Dart, probably not going to play, concussion protocol.
Yep.
We got half the rest of the team missing. On the flip side of the ball, we have your Packers, who you have major question marks after last night. The defense against the Eagles this week put up a hell of a fight, and the offense did not compliment them by doing anything until partially for 3 minutes in the fourth quarter, but couldn't get it done. You and me battling this for the last couple of years. The Giants have had the number, but I feel like we're going to be a bit of a struggle here. But the spread's 7.5 in your favor. -7.5 for Packers.
Yeah, it's the line's definitely built in. I'm thinking they're assuming Russell Wilson's going to be the quarterback because I don't think the spread would be that high, especially based on how the Packers are playing, that it would be that high in New York. So obviously they believe that Russell Wilson's going to be the guy as of right now, which will make a big difference. Although, it's all said and up. Dable gets fired. Russell Wilson's quarterbacking. Perfect spot for Green Bay. It's like playing T-ball. Everything's teed up for them to have a great game, but you would have thought that when they played the Browns and the Panthers. So which Packer team are we going to get? We know we've been getting a great defense out of this Green Bay Packer team. The defense has not been the problem at any point. The inconsistency on the passing game. Now, granted, Green Bay's, they lost their starting center, Eldon Jenkins, to probably maybe the rest of the year. I think it's a fracture from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, it didn't look good.
Then they lost Dobbs to a chest injury. He's questionable. They already were down Matthew Golden. They're getting Jaden Reed back soon, but I don't know if that's going to be this week. Probably not. So, and obviously we all know about Tucker Kraft. So they're facing some issues, right? But they got to get this vanilla offense going. They need to start passing the ball downfield. Jordan Love needs to literally release the ball a little bit faster. I feel like he's hesitating and holding the ball a tad long, and he just needs to make decisions. And I don't know if it's because in the past, years he made some errant throws, and now all of a sudden he's took this line where he's not the gunslinger like Brett Favre. He wants to be more like the old Aaron Rodgers that never threw the ball away. But sometimes you just got to throw it out of the stands. You can't take sacks. You definitely can't take sacks before halftime and situations where you're in scoring position. And this Packer team is going to be very frustrating for me and for pretty much Packer Nation and everybody. Whether you're a bettor that's betting on them. I'm at a loss of words. We're going to find out this week what this team has, if they can bounce back traveling to New York. Granted, New York's not a great team by any means, but coming on the road, let's see if they can get a decisive win and look fundamentally sound. I believe the defense will. I think Russell Wilson's going to spend a lot of time on his back, and for that reason, with that Green Bay Packer defense against Russell Wilson, who shouldn't be playing football anymore, take the Green Bay Packers to cover 7.5 points on the road. It seems like a lot, but you know what? With Russell Wilson at quarterback, -7.5 all day long.
Let's go to the next matchup, which, again, a team this weekend that is what's going on. It's the Buffalo Bills. They are at home against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers coming off a loss. They're having their own struggles. Bills right now are only 5.5-point favorites.
Yeah, and that's because, once again, the Buccaneers are going to be without Bucky Irving. They're going to be without Chris Godwin. They're obviously, the rest of the season going to be no Mike Evans. We know that. This Baker ran offense is lacking a lot of weapons, and that's proved to be problematic for them this past weekend. And now traveling to a hostile environment at Buffalo, where the Bills seem to play good for the most part. That's where their comfort zone is. Obviously, it wasn't in Miami this last weekend because the Bills look terrible. Thank God Josh Allen got some garbage fantasy points for us late to help our team win. But as far as his team, it wasn't even close. They're going to be fine, okay? Cook had an off game. Allen had an off game. Their defense did not look like the same team that played the Chiefs the week before. I don't know if they decided to take the week off or they just came in overconfident. It's just really hard to say. But this Bills team is better than what they were against Miami. I can tell you that right now. I think you're going to get more of a Bills team in general going forward. What you saw against the Chiefs. No problem. Don't stress. Bills Nation, don't panic. Take the Buffalo Bills to the bank, -5.5. They're going to get it done. Baker cannot do it all. The man's going to start to break down. He needs some weapons, and Buka's been great. He's crushing it as a rookie, but he's about all they have right now. White is serviceable. This team, no problem. Buffalo, everyone relax. Buffalo double digits. Boom.
Right after that one, we're going to be watching the Cincinnati Bengals. And if you haven't been following, they open up the 21-day window on Joe Burrow. Will he actually play? We'll see. Joe Flacco might be down to about 3-4 games, but I guess it'll depend where the Bengals are at the end of 3 weeks. Why put Joe Burrow in if you're just going to injure him more and kill him for next season?
Right.
And they are on the road at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers coming off of that win where Aaron Rodgers said in the law. I love this quote from quarterbacks. We have to do better. Well, no, you got to do better. You lost the game, and you lost by scoring 10 points. So, however, the Steelers are, again, same as the Bills, 5.5-point favorites at home.
And Flacco, yeah, he's slated to come back for the Thanksgiving game against Baltimore, which would be a real treat if he does. But the offense hasn't been the problem for the Bengals. So I don't think Joe Burrow is necessarily going to do better than the 40 points that Flacco's put up the last two games. Unfortunately, their defense gave up just a little bit more than that, which means they lost. 2 games that, if they won those 2 games, which they should have, you're looking at a logjam in the top 3 positions. Instead, once again, like last year, the Bengals are chasing their tails and looking up at the standings. This game is going to be huge for both teams, okay? Because obviously, like he said, the Bengals have to get the W and a couple Ws to make it make sense to have Joe Burrow come in. Because obviously, any player gets hurt later in the year, it's going to bleed over if it's serious enough into the next year, and that's something that's not worth it, right? So now you got on the other side of the ball, everyone is not happy with Aaron Rodgers. He made a lot of bad choices. He showed his age a little bit. And this Pittsburgh team, which is not as good as they usually are in defense lately, and all around, they can't seem to get anything going. And they're, Pittsburgh fans are as frustrated as Packer fans right now, okay? Both 2 storied franchises. This game at home, Pittsburgh, normally a very comfortable place for them to play in a division battle. But in this case, I got questions. I question whether the Bengals are going to have defense that can actually do enough to, slow them down so that their offense, which is not a problem, especially against a defense for Pittsburgh that's just not that great.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a huge matchup for both teams. The Bengals, coming off a bye, they're rested. Hopefully they worked out some things at defense. I think the Bengals, I'm going to put them on upset alert. I think the Bengals could win this game outright. It's a much-needed win. But for sure, Vegas got it wrong. 5.5 points is too much. We're going to go with the Bengals. The defense is going to at least keep them down enough to let the offense do its thing. The Bengals plus 5.5. Boom.
Final score 52-47. Soon, or 10-7 again, some of these games the way we're going. All right. Well, let's move on to the Houston Oilers Bowl. It is the Houston Texans taking on the Tennessee Titans. And again, here's a matchup where what teams show up, but the Houston Texans need a win. They are 7-point favorites at home. Or I'm sorry, on the road. But technically, they were at one time also at home.
Davis Mills of the Texans had a great stat line at the end. I mean, they're down 19 points going into the fourth quarter against Jacksonville, and Jacksonville implodes. Unbelievable, right? CJ Stroud, I think, should be back this week. Kind of, watch that, but I think they're planning on him being back based on the spread. Woody Marks actually had a serviceable game. Nico Collins looking good, especially with the backup quarterback. The defense, which is really weird. Jacksonville actually had this defense's number, and Jacksonville scored almost half the points that the defense of the Texans have given up the rest of the year. Like, it's crazy. It's not quite that much, but I mean, like I said, it's a lot of points, but yet somehow this defense did their job in the fourth quarter to get the W. Now it's against a A team coming off a bye, the Tennessee Titans, rookie quarterback Ward, they're terrible. Okay, they're still the bad team coming off a bye. I don't think it's going to make a difference. This Houston team, I think the defense is going to show in this game that they're boss again. And 7-point favorites on the road in a division battle is normally a lot, but in this case, Tennessee is just that bad. The Texans with C.J. Stroud and that defense should cook pretty good. I'm going to take the Houston Texans -7. Boom.
Jason, your hate will be on display no matter what happens in this next game. Chicago Bears against the Minnesota Vikings. This is big now. You need both these teams to lose. Unfortunately, one must win.
Can they both lose? Can they both forfeit?
One must win, and currently Vegas thinks that might be the Vikings by 3 points.
Yeah, Chicago had a huge come-from-behind victory against New York after Jackson Dart went out. So Caleb Williams actually looked like the quarterback that, why he got drafted where he did. He put together a couple big drives to get the W. It was nice to have DeAndre Swift back, in the backfield for the 1-2 combo with Monangai. On the other side of the ball, you got Minnesota, who Aaron Jones welcomed him back, and he's playing good football. Justin Jefferson finally got a touchdown. Those have been kind of few and far between. This Minnesota offense is really good. J.J. McCarthy, second game back, not as good as the week prior. But Minnesota at home is a tough team, and this is a huge matchup for both. If Minnesota loses this game, they're pretty much going to be playoff irrelevant or close to it. It's going to be a close game, but I think this game is pretty much a lock that we're going to go with the Minnesota Vikings at home in a division battle. Take it to the bank. The Vikings -3 are going to get it done. So, sorry, Chicago Bear fans, not going to happen for you this week. Minnesota, skull, baby. Boom.
Wow, you actually gave up a skull chant. That's amazing. All right, next up, last 3 games of the morning. Carolina Panthers, they just lost to who?
The Saints. The Aints. They lost to the Aints.
They are on the road, the Atlanta Falcons, which I have to remember which week this is, because every other week the Falcons are good, then they're bad, then they're good, then they're bad. So this is a matchup of 2 teams where you're not sure what to expect going in at all, and Vegas is probably confused too, because here we go again, Falcons -3 at home, a field goal.
Falcons are at home, which is a big benefit to them. That seems to be a place where they're feeling more comfortable. I felt they could have won this last weekend. They almost did pull it out against Indy, but they definitely did cover the spread, which is what our goal was. This team is talented. I mean, I don't need to say it, but Bijan, London, Penix is on the up and coming. He's putting it together. This team has a lot of capability. Their defense is solid. Their coach, solid coach, but they get in their own way. They're Atlanta. They just get in their own way. It's like when they're supposed to zig, they zag. This week is going to, be very interesting. It's a huge game because Atlanta, definitely you talk about teams that can't afford to take any more losses. I mean, Carolina, if you would have told me that Carolina would have the better record going into this week against Atlanta, I would have laughed at you. Most of the world would have laughed at you. So the thing is that's where we're facing. We're facing a Carolina team with a better record coming off a loss at home to the Saints, and Atlanta, who's on life support. But this team is talented. This team is capable. And at home, I think they're going to show it this week. I just don't feel like Bryce Young. He's just meh. He's doing okay, nothing special. Rico Dowdle has been the biggest addition to this team. He's having a big year. He's a big threat. But this Atlanta defense, I think, can hold them in check enough to go ahead and get the victory. We're going to take the Atlanta Falcons to get this done. We're going to take it to the bank. Yes, take it to the bank. Our 3rd pick of the week, take it to the bank. It is going to be a lock. No doubt. Take the Atlanta Falcons. Boom.
All right, we're halfway through the games. One more morning game remains. If you haven't yet, guys, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't, because we'll keep bringing you picks like this next one. I almost said San Diego. I will never stop. The Los Angeles Chargers on the road at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Chargers -2.5. I don't have much to say on this. Let's go with the pick.
Chargers came up big, obviously. They played Pittsburgh, and we saw what happened there. They pretty much whipped up on Pittsburgh and Aaron Rodgers. This Chargers team, they're for real. I mean, I think that this team is well coached. I'm not a Jim Harbaugh fan, but from a coaching standpoint, he's solid, and I think he's an outstanding coach. I don't like the guy, but he's a great coach. Justin Herbert and his weapons, they don't even have Omarion Hampton. He's not even back yet. When they get him back, what is this team going to be? Because it's right now where they're standing with Vidal, who was a practice squad running back.
Right.
He's doing just enough. Bring in stud Omarion Hampton late in the year, and this team is ready to roll. They've had some inconsistencies, for sure, but now they're playing Jacksonville Jaguars, who Trevor Lawrence, holy man, he is a frustrating quarterback. And
just the way the coach, just at the end when he fumbled the ball at the last play this week, just threw it on the ground. You could just see the disgust and like whatever in his face. He couldn't believe it.
I mean, it's just Trevor Lawrence is. It's a lot of teams. It's like, which team are they? Okay, Jacksonville showed some positives, but then just when they take one step forward, they take 2 steps back, and that sums up this Jacksonville team. The Chargers on the road, 2.5-point favorites. It feels Chargers are being 2.5-point favorites feels trappy, right? Because you're thinking, okay, Chargers seem to be trending up yet, looking really good, going up against a Jacksonville team that they're beat up at wide receiver, their quarterback is struggling, but they did play a great game against Houston for 3 quarters. So what are we going to get? The answer is, I'm not going to ride with Jacksonville. That's never going to happen in this spot. Right now, I want to wait and see where they're at. Right now, they are definitely struggling, and going forward, until I see more out of them, they're going to be outside of my pick wheel, definitely for this week. We're going to take the Chargers, who are trending up, -2.5 on the road. Traveling West Coast to East Coast is a thing, but in this case, the Chargers will have enough to get it done and get the victory. Take the Chargers -2.5. Boom.
All right, 4 afternoon games this week. Let's start off with this is interesting. Okay. Seattle Seahawks. He knows what I'm looking at already. Seattle Seahawks on the road at the LA Rams. Rams feel they don't get any respect. Apparently that's the case because I'm looking at this. The Rams are 2.5-point favorites at home. With Seattle's offense is potent.
Yeah, I mean, Jackson Smith-Njigba has, get this, 200 more receiving yards than the next closest receiver in the NFL.
Jeez. So 2 touchdowns, basically, of a field.
I mean, that is unbelievable. I mean, he's just smashing it. Now he goes up against Puka Nacua, who's outstanding. Sam Darnold, I bet you Minnesota's wishing they would have kept him this year.
Well, again, when the playoffs come around, we'll see.
Yeah. Regular season Sam Darnold has been outstanding, and he looks great. This team, I mean, they're getting great production out of Zach Charbonnet. They're running back number 2. Not even their main guy, but between him and Walker, they're looking good. This defense is kind of the storyline. The defense looks savage. Put up a monster stat line defensively this last weekend. Huge for certain individuals in our fantasy league that had Seattle defense. Now they're coming into the Rams in a huge division battle to maintain first place, right? So Seattle's atop the division on the road. Sam Darnold, pressure cooker time against the Rams team that seems to have Devontae Adams cooking a little bit. All around, this is going to be a treat to watch no matter what. And in this case, we're going to go with the Rams at home just to get by. They're going to cover. It's one of those games you may want to just like fade and not mess with. Just enjoy it and watch it because it's close. But I'm going to give the home team the edge here in the division battle. -2.5 Rams. Boom.
Second 105 game is the 49ers. Hey, congrats 49ers. No injuries last week. That's kind of a success for them. They are 2.5-point favorites on the road at the Arizona Cardinals. And safe to say, no matter what happens, we've seen the last of Kyler Murray in Arizona. They're going to move on from him next year.
Yeah, Kyler Murray's done for the year. I mean, they're saying he's on the IR and he needs to get healthy, but
he's going to get traded.
I think
or like released.
Trey McBride's happy. I mean, the guy had just been booming since Jacoby Brissett came in. And Christian McCaffrey has been the glue to this San Francisco team, but he was not enough this last weekend as they fell short against the Rams at home, which is a stinger. They go in early in the year, they shock the Rams on the road, but then they fall short. Now you got to say, is Brock Purdy going to be back this week? Is Mac Jones going to be playing? I mean, that's been kind of like the back and forth. So I don't know what's going on. This Purdy injury might be worse than they're leading on, and they're kind of dangling this like they did Christian McCaffrey with his injury. I don't know. Mac Jones is doing well. He's still without Ricky Parasol, which they could really use him at wide receiver. Jennings stepped up bigger. Kittle had a big game. This Niner team, against this Arizona team. I mean, the Niners on the road by 2.5. It seems small, but that's because as of late, this Arizona offense has looked much better, and this defense is a solid, formidable team. The running game, they're down 2 running backs, but the running backs have done enough for Arizona. But unfortunately, Arizona got the break speed off them over the weekend because they just stood no match to their opponent. This week, San Francisco in a much-needed win, whereas Arizona, they're going to try to win some games, but they're going nowhere. San Francisco with Christian McCaffrey on the road is going to do enough to get it done. Take the Niners, -2.5. Boom.
I think when the third game of the afternoon was originally scheduled, they thought this was going to be like the defensive battle game of the year. Initially. Could still be. Baltimore Ravens on the road. They are 8-point favorites against the Cleveland Browns. Browns who just lost to the Jets. Lost to the Jets special teams, let's be honest. That's what they lost to. So
back-to-back punt return touchdown, kick return touchdown.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's wild.
But yeah, so Ravens are 8.5-point favorites on the road in Cleveland.
8 points.
Yes, 8 points. Oh. It'll be 8.5 by the time the video goes out.
Who knows? It could be. So, I mean, they're looking good. Baltimore has, they need to win these games. They've won them the last couple. They're right on the heels of this Pittsburgh team, and there's a reason why they're the favorite to win the division as of right now in Vegas. Lamar looks good. This offense is running good. The defense, the key is the defense is getting a little bit healthier, and they're playing a lot better. Whereas Cleveland, on the other side, they fall short to a lowly Jets, and they just don't have a lot going for them. I mean, that defense is okay, but obviously it's not that great. Granted, you can't blame the defense. You blame the special teams for 14 of those 27 points they gave up. But Cleveland's just not working with much. The Dylan Gabriel's nothing special. They have a really good running back in Judkins, but he can only do so much, and the defense can only do so much. So bottom line, this Ravens team, it's going to be a rout. It's just that simple. Ravens -8 on the road in a division battle. It's a lot of points, like it really is when you're talking about division battle. But this Cleveland Browns team is so lethargic and so incapable and ran so bad as an organization that this Ravens team is going to come in there and they're going to smash. So take the Baltimore Ravens to cover the 8 points. Boom.
In the last afternoon game, truthfully, when I asked you what would be our matchup of the week, sometimes it's obvious. I actually thought you were going to pick this game because of the implications of the division battle and the seeding standings right now. But but for now, it's not. It is still the Kansas City Chiefs on the road against the Broncos. So this is huge for them because I'm sure you remind us of where the Chiefs stand in the seeding right now. And their Chiefs are 4-point favorites on the road in Denver against Bo Nix and company.
Yep. Well, where we're at for sure is we know as of right now, if the playoffs were to begin, the Kansas City Chiefs would not be in the playoffs. Okay? It's that simple. They're not in the top 7. That's a fact. But with how Jacksonville's playing, that could change very soon. Here's the problem with the Kansas City Chiefs. Their run game is non-existent. Their problem against Buffalo was they couldn't get the run game going, and that is not good. I mean, there's no doubt they have great talent on offense, as far as from a wide receiver standpoint. Travis Kelce, when he's open by 30, 40 yards, catching the ball is pretty easy for him too. Patrick Mahomes, though, he didn't play good. He had one of his worst performances against the Bills, passed for 40% or so, and no touchdowns. It was ugly. It was a super ugly game for him. They've had a bye, and Andy Reid usually knows how to get this team ready for a big game. This is a huge game because right now with Denver having a 2-game lead against Kansas City in the division, a win for Denver might be enough to cinch it for them. I mean, it's not there yet because we've seen some problems with Denver as well. Mm-hmm. Bo Nix, he's been Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. He's had some good games, but he single-handedly has hurt them. And luckily for them, they've played some pretty mediocre competition this season to get some wins against teams they need to beat. This is interesting. I mean, it's in Denver. I wish I knew if Patrick Surtain and another defensive component was going to be playing in this game. Hopefully they will be. It's a huge moment. They did lose J.K. Dobbins in Denver for probably a couple weeks, but R.J. Harvey has stepped up as a rookie running back that's very dynamic, and he can fit in pretty well. But you know what? Losing that 1-2 punch option is not ideal, especially going into a huge matchup like this one. The defense of Kansas City has been huge throughout the year. They've been playing really solid football. So it's going to be a battle of two really good defenses. And is Bo Nix ready for this moment against the king, Patrick Mahomes, of the last X amount of years, where he's been dominating this division, and the Broncos have been second fiddle year after year after year? This is huge. But 4 points, 4-point underdogs at home, that's an insult. You're looking at a team that's 8-2 still against a team that's 5-4, and you're 4-point dogs. So that is going to be a driving force and motivation. I think Sean Payne's going to have them ready to go. I'm going to go with this Denver team +4 because the points are too much. Vegas got it wrong. I think for sure they stay within the point spread of 4, but I think it's a good possibility that if Bo Nix puts it together and plays solid football like he has throughout the year, this team, which this defense is going to cause lots of problems because they're going to force KC to try to just pass, because I believe they will not be able to run in this game. So Denver +4 all day long. Boom.
And that will take us to our actual matchup of the week and possibly a round one. These two teams may have to butt heads again in the playoffs to get where they're all trying to go. 5:20 p.m. on Sunday night, Detroit Lions take on the Philadelphia Eagles, and possibly by virtue of this weekend's Monday night game, the Eagles are the favorite, but it's only 2.5 points.
Yeah, this definitely, I mean, like you said, the matchup of the week could have been either of these last two games. But this one, you're talking about the winner of this game is going to be atop the entire NFC. Okay, it's a huge game. The Eagles looked pretty lethargic on offense last night against Green Bay. I mean, their offense did nothing, and that's because Green Bay's defense is just that good. But, I mean, win. It's about, like the former Raiders owner said, just win, baby. And the Eagles win. So they win ugly sometimes, but they get wins. Detroit, huge situation. Dan Campbell took over the play calling last week. He wanted to mix it up. He thought there was going to be needed a change to create a spark, and it did. Boy, did that offense boom with Dan Campbell calling plays. Jamison Williams, if you're a fantasy football guy and you have Jamison Williams, you're happy because he showed out. The guy's super talented. This offense is really, really good. Their problem is their defense is suspect, but their defense was fine this last week, over the weekend. We'll see where it shakes out against a Philadelphia offense at home. But Dan Campbell, the change as offense coordinator calling the plays, has been loomed huge. This is a huge matchup. I mean, this game could preview possibly an NFC Championship situation for sure. I'm hoping not as a Packer fan, but it very well could be. I believe this Detroit offense is going to come into Philadelphia on the road, and they're going to do enough to get it done. We're going to take the Detroit Lions on the road, 2.5-point underdogs to get it done, take it to the bank, boom, all day long. I love it. I love it. Dan Campbell is going to get this done, and I think Detroit wins by double digits. I don't think it's even going to be that close. I think Detroit, as long as their defense holds par, double-digit victory. If their defense sputters, they still get the win, which guess what? That's all. They just got to, cover the spread. So a win is a win for everybody. But I think Detroit in the right situation, if their defense holds strong enough against this offense that is sputtering for Philly, Detroit +2.5, boom.
It's not a win for most people. Oh, thank you. The gardener's coming for this pick. The dogs are barking. Everybody knows this pick. Look, I know I take flack for, I'm sorry for the noise. I know I take flack for sometimes commenting on certain teams and fandoms, but you got to admit, this is not this is my life.
Oh my God.
You got to admit, this is not the Monday night game that a lot of people are going to be clamoring at the bit to watch. Outside of the fans of the respective teams, It means a lot more for the Dallas Cowboys than it does the Raiders. The Raiders are smart, unlike the Jets, who, thank you, Jets, for letting the Giants move up right now to the second pick of next year's draft. It is the Cowboys at the Las Vegas Raiders. Cowboys are 3-point favorites on the road.
Yeah, Cowboys 3-point favorites. I mean, the Cowboys defense is bad. They continue to be bad. Just when you think they got as bad as they can get, they get worse. The thing is this Raiders offense? I don't even know if this Raiders offense can possibly look good against
Are
this
we
bad
redefining the word offense for the Raiders? Are we gonna?
I mean, Geno
what it
Smith,
actually means?
is Geno Smith going to even play? I mean, the guy is beat up. I mean, I guess Kenny Pickett could play, but Geno Smith shouldn't have been in the game the fourth quarter. He was so beat up he could barely walk. They should have brought a walker out for him. Brock Bowers got shut down, which, granted, Brock Bowers should not get shut down against Dallas. Brock Bowers should be the bright, shiny light that should probably go off for about 150 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 8 catches. Okay, that should be a stat line against Dallas, but we will see. Austin Gentry, a.k.a. Michael Myers, he's looking solid, in his rookie campaign, but his quarterback can't seem to do anything, and he can't seem to stay upright. This Raider defense, I'll give them credit. I think they played pretty good against Denver. I don't know if it was Denver's apathy on offense with Bo Nix or if it was the Raiders' defense. I'm not sure what was the reason. But the Raiders at home against Dallas, you can bet the Dallas fans are showing up to Las Vegas to watch that game. It's going to be a very high-energy game. It could be a high-scoring game. Even the Raiders might be able to put up some points against this Dallas defense. 3 points, it seems trappy, right? You would think Dallas coming off a bye. Dak Prescott's having a great year, but yet their record is subpar below 500. And it's because their defense is just that bad. So it's going to be very simple. Take the Dallas Cowboys, -3 on the road in Vegas to show out and get a much-needed win to keep any kind of hope of a possible wild card going forward.
Yep.
Boom.
All right, that's week 11. That's the picks we have for you as of recording on, what's today? Today's Tuesday.
Tuesday.
I'm out of it. I had a long weekend. It's Tuesday. One more show before we get to Thanksgiving week, which of course will feature our live Thursday morning on Thanksgiving color commentary, play-by-play, entertaining, trying to just have fun, watching games and eating pie before the big dinner happens. So we'll put up a banner soon for that. You guys can click on and join us maybe on Thursday morning. Have us in the background, just have some noise with you while you're cooking or watching the parade. Does anybody watch the parade anymore? Have you watched the Thanksgiving Day parade, the Macy's
not for
parade?
years, no.
It's also at 6:30 in the morning. I'm getting enough football. I don't need to get up at 6:30 to see Santa and 18 marching bands.
Right.
No disrespect to the marching bands. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back here next Tuesday for week 12. It's almost over. It's running quick. The year and the season, baby.
Before we know it, December's going to be here. It's crazy. October went out quick.
So Giants 7 wins in a row, wild card, we're good, right?
The Giants might not win another game this year.
That's okay. We'll take the first pick away from.
I mean, if I had to pick Giants win the rest out or Giants lose the rest out, I'll take Giants lose the rest out.
Of course you would. Take it to the bank.
No. I'm not baking that.
Thank you guys for watching.
All right, guys. Until next time, take it to the bank. Boom.